When I was a children, there was no concert hall, but there were places that people, they were meeting and playing music, eating together. My parents, they were also musicians, so they were, in that time, what we call mejlis people, was a sort of a musical and artistic community all around. When an evening was very high level, really, on it, they were saying, it was like in the court of Huseyin Baykara. I remember that. So many years after, I said, who was this Huseyin Baykara? In the beginning, I thought that it was a friend of them. And then I understood that he's a sultan, one of the descendants of Timur Lenk, Tamerlan, and who ruled in Herat. So I was saying, what is the relationship?
Huseyin Baykara was Sultan of Herat for 37 years. Miniatures show the life of the artists at his court. The poets, musicians and philosophers not only gained favour from their lord, but also acknowledgement by artists, scientists and art lovers in all the major cultural centres of the Far East.
There was more communication. People, they knew, for example, in Baghdad, they knew that in Cairo there was a big theologian or big astronomer or maybe a philosopher or maybe a musician. I don't know how, it's concrete, it's difficult to explain, but maybe the commerce was something very interesting to make the communication between these big centers of Middle East and Khorasan, what we call Khorasan, Afghanistan, till India. And so people, they knew the musicians.
The musical map of the Orient shows connections over vast distances and long periods. In Baghdad already, Al-Farabi carried out research on the basis of music in the 10th century. 200 years later, his books were well known to Abdul Qadir Meraghi. Like Al-Farabi, he started his career as a court musician in Baghdad. His journey leads then from Baghdad over Tabriz to Samarkand. His compositions were then played all over the Far East.
We can say today, the father of the Ottoman music is Abdul Qadir Meraghi, but not only for the Ottoman music. What is the classical? What should be the classical Iranian music? Till India, all the Khorasan area, all the east of Turkey today had this master as the origin and the greatest composer of the music. So his pieces, they were played in different courts.
When we listen to music from the 10th century, we owe it to a rich writing culture at the courts of the Oriental kingdoms. A writing culture so ingrained, and the likes of which never emerged in the West.
Today we are talking about classical and high-level literature music. We only think to the Western culture. As somewhere else in the world, we didn't exist a high literature, a high raffinated music. There are, but the continuity of the civilization is broken up. So there was no occasion to bring up all this.